5 seconds. Sir, you are aware that on every occasion and whenever the report of the Union Public Service Commission was debated in this House, we had the advice of this House, and I am very happy to point out that gradually whatever difficulties there were in the way of the working between the Union Public Service Commission on the one hand and of the Government of India on the other hand have all been removed, and we have before us in a report where they have clearly stated there was no case in which the Commission's advice was not accepted by the government during the year under report. May I point out here that the general policy that the government have been following in this respect was to accept the Commission's advice whenever a reference had been made to them. Here we have a statutory body which has been called upon to carry out certain functions, and therefore the government are anxious to accept their views to the fullest extent, though what they do is naturally under the terms of the Constitution to give advice that they tender to government. That is a factor which has to be noted in this connection. I would not like to deal at great length with the very illuminating report of the UPSC. Their task has naturally been growing year after year, and I would point out for the information of the House that during the year under report they had examined candidates to the tune of 62,000. So many candidates had appeared at various examinations. There are a number of services, 12 in all, so far as the central services are concerned, and to all India services are also concerned. In respect of them, we have a competitive examination held every year, and we accept their recommendations and make appointments thereupon. They have pointed out that in this year the number has increased by 6,000 over the number for the last year. They have also further dealt with the list of qualified candidates that they had supplied. Incidentally, we might also note that the number of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe candidates has been increasing, though I must confess that it is increasing at a slow pace. This question was discussed by this House the other day when there was a debate on the report of the Commission. I might also point out incidentally in this connection that the Government of India had requested and the Allahabad University has agreed to have tuition classes for intending candidates for these examinations. To a certain extent, their number has been rising. It is hoped that some of the other universities also in the south in particular will come to the aid of the Government of India and start such tuition classes, because we are anxious that their number consistent with the maintenance of proper standards of efficiency ought to increase to the extent that it is possible. That also may be noted in this connection. The report has also pointed out how the number of candidates has been increasing in great proportions. They have also stated that the highest number in this project of candidates appearing for the examination is at Delhi proper, where about 90,000 candidates they say have to appear for the examinations at different centers. That is the reason why they have made a proposal that the government should provide for proper or suitable or adequate halls for this purpose. All the examinations are not held at the same time, and government will consider this question inasmuch as the UPSC has recommended this problem. I am merely pointing out how the problem is a great problem and it has to be dealt with as satisfactorily as possible. In the course of their report, they have made other complaints, not the complaints about the non-acceptance of their advice, but they have incidentally made some complaints on certain other grounds. These will naturally be considered very carefully. I may point out to this House that we are always anxious to make all possible attempts for the purpose of removing all complaints because on that depends the efficiency of our services. The manner in which and the extent to which there is absolutely smooth working and relations between the UPSC on the one hand and the Government of India on the other, to that extent efficiency is bound to increase in the services. Therefore, these complaints that have been made by the UPSC in their latest report will always be examined, and I am quite confident that the House will agree that these complaints will receive due consideration. The complaints are, as I have stated, under various heads. For example, they state that in some cases the appointments are delayed. It is true that in some cases the appointments could not be made immediately. The reason is that after making reference to the UPSC, circumstances change for the complaints are, as I have stated, under various heads.